Ellarigu namaskara. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed gratifying to note the presence of industry captains, startup founders, unicorn leaders, investors, and R&D stakeholders across IT, deep tech, ESDM, and life sciences. Where all of you esteemed personalities have taken time off to be present here to share your perspectives with the Government of Karnataka leadership on opportunity and challenges shaping India's technology landscape. On behalf of Department of Electronics, Information Technology, Biotechnology, Government of Karnataka, I am Shankar Prakash, extending a very, very warm welcome to all of you for an open dialogue with Shri Priyank Kharge, Hon'ble Minister for Electronics, IT, BT, Rural Development and Panchayat Raj, Government of Karnataka, ahead of the Bengaluru Tech Summit 2026. A hearty welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. No energy in Delhi. Okay. Request all of you to keep the energy going. At the outset, I would request Shri Rahul Sankanor, the Managing Director of Karnataka Innovation and Technology Society and Director of Department of Electronics, IT and BT Government of Karnataka for the opening remarks and welcome address. Shri Rahul.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Minister for Electronics, IT, BT, and RDPR, Government of Karnataka, Shri Priyank Kharge, sir. Honorable Chairman, QNX, Shri Sharat Bachegowda, sir. Secretary to the Department of Electronics, IT, BT, Dr. Mangula, ma'am. Dyani, ma'am. Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, ma'am. And to all the dignitaries, industry leaders, esteemed guests, and all my friends from the press. A very good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you to this annual industry meet. This forum has become an important and consistent platform for engagement between Government of Karnataka and the industry. Over the years, this interaction has helped us build not just policies, but a strong partnership grounded in trust, transparency, and shared ambition. This annual meet is not merely a review of progress. It is an opportunity for us to listen, learn, and co-create. It allows us to share the government's key initiatives and achievements while also understanding your perspectives, your experiences on the ground, the challenges you encounter, and the recommendations you bring to the table. These insights are critical as we continue to refine our approach and ensure that Karnataka remains at the forefront of innovation, investment, and business-friendly governance. Our objective is very clear: to sustain Karnataka's leadership not just in growth, but in quality of growth, driven by technology, talent, and global competitiveness. Karnataka today stands as India's strongest technology hub and one of the most dynamic innovation clusters globally, hosting more than 900 GCCs, accounting for 130% of India's GCC landscape, and serving as the largest GCC talent hub in the country. A startup ecosystem further strengthens this foundation. With over 18,000 startups, Karnataka hosts the deepest and the most diverse innovation network in the country, and also ranked 10th globally by Startup Blink to 2025. Complementing this is a strong institutional backbone with over 21 centers of excellences across emerging technologies such as AI, cybersecurity, robotics, and quantum computing. Karnataka's electronic and semiconductor sector has attracted investments to 40,000 crores in the past few years from leading global companies such as Foxconn, Applied Materials, Lam Research, and Schneider Electric. In the recent quarter, despite global uncertainty and widespread discussions around hybrid work, Bangalore has recorded some of the strongest office leasing performance in over 18 months. Emerging technology remains central to Karnataka's growth vision. Artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, deep tech, quantum technology, and space technology are no longer verticals, they are horizontal enablers across industries. One of the strongest reflections of this collaborative ecosystem is the Bengaluru Tech Summit, which continues to grow as a global platform for technology dialogue and innovation. The 2025 edition of the BTS witnessed remarkable scale and impact. It achieved a reach of 5.19 crores, marking 21% increase over the previous year, while digital engagements surged significantly. As we look ahead, I look to extend a warm invitation to all of you for the Bengaluru Tech Summit 2026. As Asia's largest integrated technology event, BTS has evolved into a global platform to amplify Karnataka's leadership while connecting the world to the ideas shaping tomorrow. We look forward to welcoming you again to BTS as we come together to imagine, innovate, and build the future. In closing, let me reiterate that Government of Karnataka views industry as a long-term partner, not as a stakeholder. We remain committed to being responsive, collaborative, and of course, forward-looking. Together, let us continue to strengthen Karnataka's position as a global hub for technology, innovation, and talent built on trust, capability, and shared progress. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Well, indeed, Bengaluru Tech Summit is becoming bigger, better, year after year, and showcasing the entire world towards Bengaluru. Thank you, Shri Rahul, for cordial opening remarks and, of course, the welcome address. At this juncture, I would request Dr. N. Mangula, the Secretary, Department of Electronics, IT, BT, and S&T Government of Karnataka, to give us an insight with a presentation on Karnataka ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Let's welcome Dr. Mangula.
Good morning, Ellargu Namaskara. Hon'ble Minister for Information Technology, Biotechnology, Rural Development and Panchayat Raj, Government of Karnataka, Shri Priyank Kharge sir. Chairperson Biocon Group and Chairperson Vision Group on Biotech, Government of Karnataka, Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. Chairman Kionics, Government of Karnataka, Shri Sharat Bachegowda sir. Ms. Dyani from the Niti Ayog. Shri Arvind Kumar, Director General, STPI, and Rahul, Director of the Department of ITBT, Government of Karnataka, CEO of KDEM, Shri Sanjeev, and all the distinguished delegates here, the industry leaders and the media representatives. A hearty welcome. I welcome each one of you on behalf of Government of Karnataka and the Department of IT, BT and Science and Technology, Government of Karnataka. So today my task here is to talk about the Karnataka technology and innovation ecosystem. My presentation will broadly cover these topics. It's a hard task, to cover Karnataka in the 8 minutes that has been allocated to me, but I'll try my best here. So the Karnataka story, so you all know, most of you are familiar with Karnataka. So maybe for you it is rejigging your memory and, kind of updating yourselves. But for many who may not be aware of Karnataka, we are trying to introduce ourselves. Karnataka is one of those progressive states. It dates back decades ago. Pre-independence, we can note that pre-independence also Karnataka was making great strides. We were a state which was ruled by one of the princely states who were very, very forward-looking people, were forward-looking rulers. We had the first college for women in Mysore. We had the first engineering college there. We had the first medical college. That was the kind of involvement of the rulers, and they always focused on education, especially, including higher education, technical education. And in the rest of the Karnataka where the colonial rule existed, I think a lot of missionary activities and many leaders who participated in the national movement thought that education was a great equalizer and was a way to involve everyone. And then for a lot of education institutions started then. And hence we see that today Karnataka with more than 200 engineering colleges, more than 1,000 ITIs and polytechnics. We probably are, that is the reason probably we are the 4th largest technology cluster. The talent is the foundation of the technology cluster that we are here today. And supporting that, we also have a host of R&D institutions, including the Indian Institute of Science, which started much before independence, and hence we see the foundation that is laid has emerged in Bangalore, has emerged as a R&D center, and hence we also see the presence of great industries such as Google Atlanta. I think this is the largest campus outside in USA, apart from other examples which are kind of displayed here. Bangalore is also the fastest growing city. To give a perspective, we are growing at the 3 times the global average, and will continue to grow so for the next 15 years. So, and then Bangalore is also the, like you all know, India is the second largest hub of AI talent, and Bangalore has 50% of India's AI talent housed here. We are also ranked, like just like Rahul mentioned this, we are ranked 14th in the global startup ecosystem report as per the startup genome. We also have a presence of more than 900 GCC units, and also presence of 400 of the Fortune 500 companies. Of course, Bangalore is known for world-class infrastructure. We have a salubrious environment, which, once anyone visits Bangalore, probably will not think of leaving it permanently, will somehow the other want to come back and, remain attached to Bangalore. I think that is what Bangalore does to everyone. Apart from this, Karnataka also hosts of, good amenities in terms of tourist sites. We have 4 UNESCO World Heritage sites, golf courses, wildlife resorts, etc. Hospitality-wise, more than 60-star hotels, etc. All the best brands are in Karnataka. So Karnataka has been on the forefront in technology and innovation, probably because of the foundation that has been laid here. Our journey started in this sector, started more than 3 decades ago, when we were the first to introduce an IT policy. We were also the first to bring about a BT policy. Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw ma'am is here, who has been instrumental in preparing the first biotechnology vision report for the state. Likewise, we also see policies cutting across the various sectors, like the startups, AVGC, that is animation, visual effects, graphics, and comics, global capability centers policy on that, cybersecurity policy, electronics, semiconductor design, and policy, manufacturing policy, design and manufacturing policy, so on and so forth. All this, I think the basic thread amongst all these policies I would just like to highlight is probably the common thread amongst all these policies is, one is the focus on skilling, second is the stress on R&D infrastructure and R&D, promotion of R&D across various collaborations through industry and academic institutions. Thirdly, it is the support and kind of promotion of the innovation ecosystem through supporting the startups, creation of IPs, etc. And last but not the least, financial incentives to encourage and bring in investment. These are the basic tenets which probably run across all the policies. Now coming to from changing times needs new thinking also. So accordingly, we are also coping up. We had the third IT policy, the third version of the IT policy was recently launched. There were a lot of learnings in the earlier 2 policies, hence we see the third policy. I think recently even Government of India opened up space sector to the private investment, hence we also have quickly adopted a space technology policy. AI, now we all live in the AI world, and then to also ensure that AI is ethical, AI is used responsibly, we have constituted a committee which will be making recommendation to the government, which is headed by industry leaders such as Mr. Chris Gopal-Krishna, and various other leaders are also part of that committee. We also have enacted the Karnataka Innovation Authority, which looks at innovation which don't fall into any other rules and regulations are also facilitated. So under this, we are also coming up with a sandbox, regulatory sandbox mechanism where various technologies can be experimented with minimum restrictions. So the quantum roadmap is something which we launched last year. We also aim to kind of create an economic value of 20 billion by 2035. So we are also called the GCC capital. India has more than 2,000 GCCs, of which 900 happen to be in Bangalore and Karnataka. That is 30% of the share of India. I think that we all, as I already mentioned, and more than that, we also have 285 GCCs of the Forbes 2000 companies. All this is backed by the availability of talent, the skilled talent, more than 1.2 million skilled talent available in the state. Apart from all the innovation and ecosystem that thrives here, we have more than 18,000 startups, more than 18 centers of excellence. We are inching towards 20. I think Rahul mentioned 20 because 2 more are in the annual, just approved now, we are setting them up. To back this also, we have the landscape, the talent landscape is also backed by the premier institutions such as Indian Institute of Science, IIM Bangalore, IIT Bangalore, IIT Dharwad, IIT Raichur, IIT Raichur, NITK, so on. All the premier educational institutions across India are represented in Karnataka. So we can say we have the ideal business ecosystem, unrivaled talent pool, we have a very good living environment, innovation ecosystem, robust infrastructure and connectivity, and more than anything else, the proactive government support. So just to give a brief on last 2 years' performance, about 150 new GCCs have been added. The whole GCC, when we just take a picture of how it is represented, more than 73 companies are from North America, and 47 of them are related to tech, media, telecom sectors. 42 of the companies are, 42 of the GCCs are of those companies with more than 1 billion in revenue, and 64 companies have a headcount of more than 200. The support, I've already touched upon these topics to showcase that we are also working with all the emerging technologies. AI, we already set up 2 centers of excellence, one under the aegis of IIT Alumni Center and one more under the aegis of NASSCOM. Both of them have started operating already. And as I mentioned, the second largest AI talent hub we are, and also the cutting edge research going on in institutions like IIT Dharwad, Indian Institute of Science, IIT Bangalore are very noteworthy. Coming to quantum technology, the roadmap envisages, or it's built on 4 key pillars, mainly talent development, R&D excellence, infrastructure development, and skilling. So we already launched 2 centers of excellence here, Quantum Research Park in collaboration with Indian Institute of Science, Quantum Computing and AI in collaboration with IIT Dharwad. It's noteworthy here, I should mention, QPI AI, which is the startup, homegrown startup, has manufactured the first quantum computer, and they've already partnered with IIT Dharwad. I think we have our, yes, yeah, Kanish, yeah. And likewise, space technology, I also mentioned about the new policy which has been unveiled with a vision to at least cover 5% of the global market share by 2033. So you can see some of the companies accordingly related to these sectors here. The startup ecosystem, like I mentioned already, we are the startup capital too. 18,000 startups in Karnataka, 14,000 of them in Bangalore alone. More than 50 unicorns are from Karnataka, which is estimated valuation of $350 billion. The Bangalore-based startups have totally raised a fund of more than 70 billion. 50% of the startups are funded from Bangalore, are from Bangalore. So we already mentioned about the Global Startup Ecosystem Report ranking of 14 by Startup Genome. We also are ranked 10th globally as per the Global Startup Ecosystem Index by Startup Blink. The biotechnology policy, we contribute to 12% of the Karnataka's GDP through the bioeconomy sector. We are also the 54% of India's biotechnology workforce is from Karnataka. 60% of India's biotech companies are in Karnataka, and no better person than Madam Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, who is the leader in this biotechnology sector and who is representing Karnataka here. So the policy, again, I will not be repeating the same. The electronics and the semiconductor sector, we are again home to 70% of the chip design engineers of India are in Karnataka. We also have the largest chip design hub in India, more than 100 companies here. We also see the effect of the policies to, if I can say, LAM Research has committed to about 1.7 billion here in Karnataka, and applied materials about 520 million. So the centers of excellence, like we mentioned, we have about 20 centers of excellence, about 18 established, and another 2 of them are being established. Together, the centers of excellence have incubated 850 startups with more than 178 prototypes developed, more than 248 IPs, and 4,700 plus employment generation has been achieved. And also 260 industry academia partnerships, which we can see here on the slide. Art Park with NVIDIA and Qualcomm, for example, and the Quantum Research Park, QURP with University of Waterloo, Bangalore Bio Innovation Center with Lathrop University, etc. The focus, though Bangalore is the center and we call it as a technology hub, but a lot of effort is also going on to promote sectors beyond Bengaluru, areas beyond Bengaluru, geography beyond Bangalore. Lot of activity, and it also can be credited to a lot of educational institutions and the talent pool that is available there in the areas beyond Bangalore also. So we can see that we are kind of focusing on 3 sectors, one in the north, that is Hubli, Dharwad and Belgaum belt, one in the coastal area, that is Mangalore, one in the southern part, which is Mysore. So the advantages being that we have good talent there available. The talent acquisition and retention is very good. Attrition is very low. And also the good infrastructure, co-working space, A-grade office infrastructure are very well available in most of these clusters now. And more than that, the quality of life is much, much better in these cities. So in fact, Mangalore is considered, as recently an article branded Mangalore as a 15-minute city. So wherever you commute, it is not going to take you more than 15. So, and overall, the cost of operations will be estimated to be about 15 to 25% lower as against Bangalore. So to promote the innovation ecosystem beyond Bengaluru, government has launched a specific intervention called the Local Economy Accelerator Program and is earmarked about $100 million for this for the over 5 years. The target is to generate 5 lakh jobs. So this is being supported by through various initiatives which you can see here, the Startup Foundry, which is supported by the Innovation Lab, the Growth Labs, boot camps, hackathons, accelerators and incubators, centers of excellence. I just want to share a word on this Elevate Next. Elevate Next and Elevate Beyond Bengaluru. Elevate is a program, a flagship program of Government of Karnataka where grants are given to startups who perform based on their performance. This is an open initiative where any startup can apply and then registration can be followed after that. The Elevate Next focus on deep technologies alone, and this grant from the earlier 50 lakhs, which was the general Elevate, has been increased to 1 crore. So a grant up to 1 crore can be facilitated to the startups under Elevate Next. Apart from this, the Fund of Funds is another initiative which has been started under the LEAP program. We have earmarked about $20 million, about 200 crores for the Fund of Funds, where government is planning to also invest in the form of equity, not as grants alone, but as equity. We are trying to scale this up to further by about 4 or 5 times, and we are engaging with various banks and working this out. The idea is to create $100 million fund. So these are some of the GCCs in the Beyond Bangalore cluster. And then, like I mentioned, the talent and infrastructure strength in these clusters. Mangalore produces about 30,000 IT talent. Mysore and Mangalore about 12,000. Hubli Dharwad belt about 14,000 IT talent. And also the availability of co-working space, plug-and-play facilities. And all of them are connected well by air. All of them have an airport. Mangalore, in fact, has an international airport and road and rail connectivity also. These are the industries from the Beyond Bangalore clusters. You can see a lot of prominent names here. Coming to the Global Innovation Alliance, this is another flagship international innovation platform of Government of Karnataka, which has been operational since 2018. We have the focus areas being G2G Connect, and institution to institution, and also the startup mobility across border. So enabling startups from partner countries to soft land in Bangalore and vice versa. We have seen a lot of successful partnerships here through institutions. For example, as mentioned here, Lathrop University in Melbourne with BBC, Imperial College London with Bangalore Science Gallery. So we can see the growth of this initiative. It launched in 2018. In 2020, we had engagement with about 15 countries, and in 2026, it has grown to about 40 countries. A lot of achievements too, more than 1,100 startups are facilitated, and then more than 50 structured international engagements, etc. With these words, I think I've attempted to give a picture of the Karnataka tech and innovation ecosystem. Hope this brings a lot of clarity. I hope it brings some clarity at least. With these words, I thank you all for patient listening. I think there'll be a little more clarity on this GIA, etc. I think the minister and others will be speaking after me. So with these words, I thank you all for a patient hearing. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, several firsts to Karnataka's credit. Karnataka, of course, leads from the front with many, many, many milestones. Karnataka indeed is one state, many worlds. Thank you very much, Dr. N. Mangula, Madam, for a comprehensive presentation on Karnataka's ecosystem. Well, ladies and gentlemen, sit back for the next few minutes as we are going to show you a video on Bengaluru Tech Summit 2026. Let's have the video, please.
The world runs on technology, and a lot of that technology runs through Bengaluru. Every code that is written, every system that is built, every platform that performs, every breakthrough that changes lives, there is Bengaluru in it. Because this is where technology scales, where talent compounds, and innovation leapfrogs. Artificial intelligence has changed the world, and Bengaluru has adapted to it. Rapid intelligence, agile systems, new realities. Built here, built now. This is the deep tech decade. And Bengaluru is where it comes alive. At scale, for the world. Bengaluru is where talent aligns. Ideas converge. Where creators, capital and policy merge. And infinite innovations becomes industry. Bengaluru is where the world comes to build. Beyond talent, beyond disruptions, beyond innovations, beyond technologies. Witness the beyond at Bengaluru Tech Summit 2026, where the next is not just defined, but implemented. Bengaluru Tech Summit 2026. AI and beyond.
Well, larger and more dynamic than ever, Bengaluru Tech Summit 2026. At this juncture, I would request the Executive Chairman of MM Active Science Tech Communications, the event curator, Shri Jagdish Patnankar, to give us a presentation on Bengaluru Tech Summit 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shri Jagdish.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dignitaries of the dais, industry captains, media, personalities. It's my task to quickly share with you the glimpse of the snapshot of the forthcoming Bengaluru Tech Summit, BTS 2026. And very happy to share with you that last year, Honorable Minister guided us to take the bold decision. Traditionally, event was always at Palace, but it was scaling up. We wanted to make sure that we move to a venue which offers us opportunity to scale up multiple times. It offers us a great place to work with, right environment, purpose-built facilities, and so on and so forth. And we moved to BIC. It proved to be absolutely correct decision. And this is the numbers that we achieved, almost 65% growth over the previous year, with more than 1,000 exhibitors, more than 45,000 delegates, 90,000 plus visitors coming in and engaging with everyone, turning out to be a powerful tech platform for the country. But this happens because there are fundamentally few pillars on which this event is built. And those pillars are trends. Some thought leaders, tech gurus, visionaries from all over the world share their insights about the coming future. And at the same time, under the insights category, what we do is we take a deep dive into 10 different industry verticals, which are very important to all of us in the near future. Of course, any event, business is at the heart of it, and that is why there is a very strong component of business. But when people come together, celebration must happen. So there are a lot of networking programs which are built around celebration. As ma'am said earlier, Karnataka's ecosystem has been built and has become a leader because at the core is the talent, the commitment of the state to the talent. And that is why for youngsters, there are a lot of programs, and we are trying to make this event more and more experiential for each one of you. And that is why if you see the quick journey of this event, post-pandemic, when the world was living in silos, it was important to break boundaries. So the theme was breaking boundaries. Then the new opportunities started opening up, and we said, unbound possibilities, explore at BTS. And with AI, advent of AI, the new world order was emerging. And new future was emerging. So last year, it was Futurize. And this year, we are looking at AI and beyond, because if the only elephant in the room is we are all wondering as to what is going to be the new world order with the advent of AI. And that is why AI and beyond is the central theme. And with that, if you look at the event spectrum, we have conferences, exhibitions, we have Global Innovation Alliance, as ma'am spoke about that, coming in from all over India, US Tech Conclave, STPI, IT Export Awards. For youngsters, there are quizzes, poster showcases, and a very significant program called Future Makers. Coming to the deep dive that we take into the different topics, here are the topics. We have shared the brochure with you. On each of these topics, we conduct, so all put together, we do something like 100 plus sessions with experts coming in from the industry. I would invite and welcome all of you to be part of this conference program. Last year, we had a phenomenal quality of speakers coming in. So it is IT and deep tech, electro-semicon, frontier technologies. There is a special focus this year on GCC, digital infra and data centers, data and cyber security, health and biotech. So, a few years back, Hon'ble Minister took the decision that Bengaluru Bio, another flagship event, should be co-located with this event under the leadership of Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. That event had taken shape. And as a result of that, health and biotech is another important sector, Finverse, and then circular economy, orange economy, academia, and skilling. Looking at the international participation in this event and what do they get out of this particular event, we have 40 plus countries with whom we partner. And all these countries come with a delegation. So last year we had 22 countries coming in with large delegation. This year we are expecting 40. And what they do, they conduct tracks. So there are about 20 countries which do focus tracks. There is a day-long India-US Tech Conclave. International delegations participate in the event. Country pavilions is another important area. This year, FEBI is collaborating with us to help us in that. And then there is a Global Leaders Dinner. So this is the landscape of what international, in fact, today evening, we have an Ambassadors Dinner program where Honorable Chief Minister will be addressing the gathering. But last year, we did something amazing. We launched a program called Future Makers Conclave. And now, within 1 year, I'm happy to say that Future Makers has become the most influential startup event with a very sharp focus on deep tech. And what does it entail? It has startup tracks, startup exhibition, Future Makers Conclave, where last year more than 10,000 startup ecosystem players came under one roof. We are introducing Startup Ecosystem Awards. There is a focus program with the help of IVCA and the other stakeholders on investor meet with startups, pitching, mentoring, and then the product launches. Last year, 51 products we launched. I would appeal to all of you to plan your product launches at BTS, and we will give you all the support that is required to give a very high visibility to product launches. This is interesting. This year, we are putting together Future Makers in one roof, 18,000 square meters of exhibition space. And all the programs will happen here. This is going to be a Future Makers Hall. Another important component, of course, is exhibition. All the remaining 4 halls of BIEC, you will witness exhibition. In a way, entire venue, so BIC 70,000 square meters will be occupied by BIC this year, making it the largest tech show of the country, with focus on the corporate sector, which will come from like IT, deep tech, electronics, semiconductor, and so on. There are country pavilions, biotech and health tech pavilion, tech parks, R&D institutes and universities, and under future makers, entire ecosystem and ecosystem enablers, including startups, will be exhibiting. So all in all, you know, it is one show where you are almost getting everything. But then we still felt that we need to bring in electronics, semiconductor, and embedded world to this event. And we decided to partner with India's biggest show, Embedded World, which is curated in Germany. And this is, I think, the last year was the 20th year. And Sonia Prasher, who's the managing director of Nuremberg Messe, is here. I will ask her to just, you know, maybe put in a word about why she chose Embedded World to be co-located with Bengaluru Tech Summit. You want to come here?
Thank you, Jagdish. I just wanted to say Bengaluru Tech Summit is a global brand right now. It's absolutely a global brand. And that is the reason that a 25-year-old show from one of the prominent EU member states, that is Germany, decided to bring Embedded World under the wings of Bengaluru Tech Summit. And that is an important statement. And that has been only possible with the great support and the vision of Honorable Minister Shri Kharge ji. And we would like to thank you that Germany found space under Bengaluru Tech Summit. And we promise you that we will have many more EU member states participating with their pavilions, with their visitors, and many delegations. So I just want to thank you for the same.
Yeah. So with that, you know, and with the kind of a publicity support which is given by the government to this event, highest visibility, we conduct international road shows, we conduct domestic road shows, and we don't stop there. We go deep. We go to the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, and there are 6 shows this year planned in Karnataka, because the new Bangalore is emerging across Karnataka, and we would invite you to even participate in that. What does all this lead to? This leads to a mega event where all the important associations come together. This is one unique event where you see NASSCOM, IESA, TIE, ABLE, ABAI, IVCA, they all collaborate and come together. And not only that, US-India Business Council and AmCham also comes on board to make it the greatest tech show of the country. Of course, I must thank at this moment every corporate, every industry, small and big, every startup which has been participating in this event, and we would encourage all of you to participate in a bigger way and leverage this event, because this is the event where business happens, and that is what you are looking for. You are looking for collaborations, you are looking for meeting, you are looking for exploring the future, and all this will result into, this is the wish, and this is the vision. 75 countries, 30 states and union territories, 1,000 plus tech startups, 1,800 plus exhibitors, 120 conference sessions taking deep dive, 700 speakers, 25,000 registered delegates, and 60,000 business visitors. But let me be honest, it is possible only when you support us wholeheartedly and participate in this event. Looking forward to meeting you during Bengaluru Tech Summit on 17, 18, 19 November. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Bengaluru Tech Summit 2026 is all set to return as Asia's largest technology event. Of course, a grand celebration of innovation with participation of more than 75 countries. Thank you, Shri Jagdish Patankar, for your presentation. Software Technology Parks of India has always been a source of great support. We have the Director General, Shri Arvind Kumar, himself present here. I would request Shri Arvind Kumar for his address. Devi aur Sajjano, swagat kijiye Shri Arvind Kumar.
Good morning, namaskar. Honorable Minister for Information Technology and Biotechnology, Shri Priyank Kharge ji. Sir, you are most welcome in the national capital, Delhi. It is always a pleasure to meet you. I mean, just handshaking gives a lot of energy to me, inspiring what to do in the next. Most respected mentor and leader, Ms. Dyani Ghoshji, Chairman Biocon Group, Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Madam Mangula, Rahul, other dignitaries of the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I think a lot have been talked about this Bangalore Tech Summit. It is now a lot of events are claimed to be international and global event, but actually Bangalore Tech Summit is really a global event. We participate as STPI almost all big tech event, either as a sponsor or co-host. And we also used to get the feedback from various industry people, various startups, and they always say the kind of response, the kind of MOU, the kind of agreement they get in Bangalore Tech Summit, it is nowhere in any of the summit. I mean, this is kind of the response we always get when we talk to the startups, we talk to the industry about the Bangalore Tech Summit. On behalf of Software Technology Parks of India, we are co-host to this event from beginning, from day one. I again invite all of you to come and see how this is the biggest largest Asia's event is happening in Bangalore. This event basically, if you see the total, how the event has changed with the time, initially this was the ITITS services event. And Bangalore now or Karnataka, now if you see this whole STPI, even ESCOM, everything started from when export from our country on ITITS services was 52 crore. Now it is more than 20 lakh crore. And Karnataka represents 40% of it. And I think this is consistently 40% representing since maybe last 10, 15 years. So this kind of consistency, this kind of the regulatory certainty, government Karnataka has done in a state. And that is why today, if I talk to anybody, I say one state has 40% of the market share in the ITITS services. People are generally surprised how one state can have the 40% of the market share. But it is a matter of fact. These are the numbers. Nobody can doubt on those numbers. Today, this Bangalore Tech Summit with that time, and today, nowadays it has become more important. The reason is this. We started our journey from, it was ITITS services. Then it came 2016, startups, Startup India, and then all startups, whatever startups are coming, they were generally creating product which is like consumer internet type of the product. They were looking more scale, speed, capital deployment type of the thing. Now this phase 2, which we are seeing since maybe last 2 years, now it is more on deep tech. And now here, valuation is not only done on the basis of how much growth you can project. Now you have to demonstrate the growth. And number one. Number two, how many MOU you have signed. And this is the event where you, 75 countries, as I've been told, 75 countries are participating. You have more chance to meet the global people. And in the deep tech domain, only those startups will succeed. Those have global solution day one in your mind. And therefore, such events, especially Bangalore Tech Summit, where 75 countries are participating, a lot of all IT industry participates, such events become more and more important for the startups and especially for the new ITITS companies. Here you get a lot of global collaboration, lot of MOU signing, and real business happens in this event. That much I can assure to all of you. Now this, whether it is you are looking for creating some product which is reducing the carbon intensity in the country, or which requires some strategic collaboration or supply chain collaboration in the semiconductor domain, or you are looking something for electronic system design, or you are creating some industry solution on AI based, or anything of that kind. I think Bangalore Tech Summit is one of the event where you can see. Now you have to demonstrate your Growth cannot be projected because you are on the deep tech. And this is, I think, the best platform to demonstrate what you have actually done to the global world. With this, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just noted that Shri Arvind Kumar said STPI is a partner from day one. You must be wondering, what is this day one? The day one is 1998. So from 1998, this has grown. It started off as Bengaluru IT India, and then thereafter, it evolved as Bengaluru Tech Summit in 2017 under the leadership of the Hon'ble Minister, Shri Priyank Kharge, who is here, who just brought together so that there is a bigger umbrella. So we would like to thank the Honorable Minister for that. And now, probably this is the only event in India which is uninterrupted for 29 years. So that's another feather in the cap for 29 years. We also have with us the Distinguished Fellow at Niti Aayog and the Chief Architect of the Niti Frontier Tech Hub, Dyani. Ghosh, madam, I would request Dyani Ghosh to please come over here for her address. Put your hands together.
Good morning, everyone. Afternoon, actually. Minister, Dr. Mangula, Kiran, Arvind, and all other distinguished friends. Hi, Bhaskar, in the room. First of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come and speak here. And Mr. Kharge, you'll remember that I think my association, whether it was Intel, NASCOM, and now, I think goes back to day zero, sort of. And I do remember you were one of the first government officials I met after I came back to India. This was in 2012, 2013. And at that time, you were talking about AI, and you were talking about 3D printing. In fact, if you remember the little temple 3D printed, it's still on my desk, by the way. And I was super impressed because I think tech leadership is unfortunately not just built by infrastructure alone. It's built by mindset. And I think mindset is the most important thing. And I think that's the biggest asset that Karnataka and Bangalore under your leadership is building. And it's a fantastic asset to build because the entry barrier becomes tremendously high. So since my work is about thinking about the future, it's about figuring out the future, and it's about figuring out what's coming next, I keep talking about the need to look beyond AI. So I cannot tell you how happy I am to see the theme of AI and beyond. And I think Kiran and I have had several conversations on this because I think we both strongly believe that what's coming now, what's coming after AI, is going to be way more disruptive than AI ever was or AI ever will be. So when you're looking at the future, and no, we don't have in the Niti Frontier Tech Hub, we don't have a crystal ball that allows us to predict what's happening. But within technology, patterns are very, very easy to understand and to spot. And it's usually countries that spot these patterns early and then figure out how to act on these, like US does, like China does. They get ahead in the game because they start understanding what's coming and trying to build for it earlier. And I think that's what we do. That's what we really do, which is about understanding patterns. And we come out with this tech scan, which is a very extensive scan of the horizon, of the tech landscape horizon, what it means and what's coming. But what I'll share today in the next 3 minutes is just three things that stands out. First, I think the three big shifts that we are seeing in the tech horizon in the next 10 years, within the next 10 years. The first shift is about convergence. You're going to see deep tech converge with science. So AI, biology coming together, intelligence, physics coming together, intelligence, chemistry coming together. And I think this decade is going to be the decade of frontier technologies. We are evolving from deep tech to frontier technologies, which is deep tech plus science coming together. And this is where you're going to have the most disruption happening. I mean, we talk about AI, and by the way, in my conversation this morning with Minister and Kiran, I heard that Karnataka is already working on AI and biotech. That is exactly what we need to be doing. We have to now start looking at these convergence opportunities. I mean, just think about intelligence and biology comes together. In a very simple way, and I'm simplifying it significantly, what it does is it creates programmable biology, where just like you can write software codes, you can now code DNA. And what does that mean? The opportunities are so immense and so disruptive and so concerning also if it's misused, right? So this raises the game significantly. AI, physics coming together to completely come out with new materials. So this completely raises the game. So this is the first shift. The second shift, technologies themselves are beginning to depend on each other much more for full potential. For example, AI cannot survive without energy. Biotech will need energy, will need compute. You know, every technology is getting interconnected. And the third shift as a result of that is a structural shift. The game is now changing. The rules of competition are now changing. It is no more about building point leadership in particular technologies. You cannot say I'm building my leadership in AI because I have models or I have solutions, et cetera, et cetera. The winners of the frontier tech era are those who will now start controlling the entire stack or system. And if you think about the stack, just think about the AI stack. Energy, rare earth, rare minerals, compute, chips, models, applications, cloud infrastructure, governance, regulation. The broad stack has around 12 layers that come together. And why is it important to think about the stack? Because the choke points across the stack are getting hardened globally. Who's controlling energy? Who's controlling semicon? Who's controlling rare minerals? The choke points are getting hardwired very rapidly, which is very concerning. And this is not just the AI stack. It's happening across the stacks. It's happening across stacks, including AI, biotech, quantum, etc. So India has to very quickly figure out, how do I build my resilience across the overall supply chain versus point solutions? I think that's the future. And that's what's going to enable us to win in the future, where we move from solution thinking to almost system architecture sovereignty. And that's what, at the Frontier Tech Hub, what we are driving is the shift towards that thinking. How do you build system architecture sovereignty? So, Minister, my request, you have always led with respect to what's coming next. You and the state has been ahead in terms of thinking about what's not obvious today and what is going to come tomorrow and how do we build for it. It is obvious that you have to take the lead here in terms of thinking about how to move towards sovereignty across the stack, how to build system architecture sovereignty, at least across the critical supply chains in India, AI, biotech, quantum, etc. And happy to support, happy to work with you to build this thought process out. And I think BTS is such a great platform to bring this change about and show the new mindset. So once again, really excited about what's shaping up, looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing this platform and all of us leveraging this platform to really bring about the change towards resilient sovereignty, which is the need of the hour in the technology world. Thank you very much.
Indeed, words of great appreciation for Government of Karnataka's leadership. Thank you, ma'am, for a highly thought-provoking address. It's now time to welcome the legend onto the stage, the chairperson of the Vision Group on Biotechnology, Government of Karnataka, and chairperson of Biocon Group. Please put your hands together for Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw.
Minister Kharge, dignitaries, delegates, business leaders, and friends. Innovation is the new mantra of economic growth for the country, and AI-led innovation is certainly the new frontier for exponential growth and value-added growth. I think, Dyani has just so eloquently laid out what lies ahead in terms of how we look at deep tech, science, and the convergence of technologies. And I think what I want to add to that is the fact that Bengaluru and Karnataka have always had the foresight to see emerging trends. And as you very rightly said, it's the mindset. I think the government and the vision group have created a mindset which is really forward-looking. We are not shy to dream and experiment and take the lead. And I think that's what has really made us what we are. And to me, I think we've done a lot of very bold experimental moves. I think the concept of regulatory sandboxes was actually conceptualized in Karnataka under the leadership of, Minister Kharge. And I think this has proved to be a very, very powerful model. And this is a model now that is being looked at countrywide, saying, how do we get startups to get to a stage where they can rapidly scale up? It's only when you deliver proof of concept in a very unhindered way that you can actually race towards commercialization. I think the biggest stunting factors in all startups is the regulatory cholesterol that actually slows them down. And here in Karnataka, we have realized that the vision groups have recommended that we free up these startups to try and unleash the potential, and we've been able to do it. We are talking about wonderful companies, like companies that are developing flying taxis, companies that are developing CRISPR diagnostics, companies that are developing cell and gene therapies, companies that are actually developing space technologies, defense technologies, and so on and so forth. And all these companies are actually leveraging AI in their own way. Today we are designing new molecules. We are designing new supply chains. We are using AI and deploying AI in very, very innovative ways. So for innovation to flourish, you have to actually encourage startups to basically speed up their innovation. And the only way to speed up innovation is through sandboxes. I must also commend the Government of India for really creating these wonderful innovation funds, whether it is ANRF, whether it is Bioshakti, whether it is RDI, and so on and so forth. There's plenty of capital being made available for people who want to innovate. But the caution I say in all of these is that we must only fund IP-led innovation. Because without IP, you don't create value. And I think Karnataka has recognized that. And therefore, I want to say that IP-led innovation is the way to grow. Is the way to grow in safe sandboxes. I'm also happy that Karnataka has also realized the importance of ethical and responsible AI. And I think, we were just having a chat with Minister Kharge. I don't want to steal his thunder because I'm sure he wants to talk about it. But Bio-AI is a very, very important new initiative because the convergence of biology and AI, science and AI, like Dyani so beautifully put it, is the new frontier. And that's where we need to lead. These are emerging areas. And if we can take the lead, I think this can be very exciting. So I invite every one of you to come to this very exciting event, Bangalore Tech Summit, which has become a flagship must-go-to event. Anyone and everyone who's interested to know what's happening in technology, I assure you will learn a lot about new technologies. I think the networking opportunities are amazing. The opportunity for startups to come and present their innovations is amazing. And I really think this is one event that has become a hugely, hugely interactive event, an exciting event that everybody looks forward to. So with that, I just want to say, please, please come to BTS, because it is a very exciting event and it is India's largest tech event. Thank you.
Karnataka in general, Bengaluru in particular, is the place to be. It's a win-win situation for all of us. Thank you, Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, for, as usual, the ever motivating words. Thank you. Well, at this juncture, I would now request the Chairman of Kionics, Government of Karnataka, Shri Sharat Kumar Bachegowda, for his views. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Shri Sharat Kumar Bachegowda.
Honorable Minister for IT, BT, Panchayat Raj, Shri Priyank Kharge ji, dignitaries who are present over here, a very warm good afternoon to everybody. And first of all, let me say it is such a pleasure to be in the capital of the country, pitching for what is arguably the capital of IT, BT in the country. So, first of all, I would like to say just a brief introduction about Kionics itself. Kionics is the government's electronics development initiative under the Department of IT/BT. We are very proud of some of the innovations which we've done and some of the developments which we've made. The Electronic City was started under Kionics, and we're really proud of what came out of there. So it could be Biocon, it could be Infosys, it could be Wipro. These are all organizations which started out of Electronic City. And when Electronic City was started by Kionics, it was not in the heart of Bangalore, it was miles outside Bangalore. But what served as a catalyst and what served as a growth center is where Bangalore's IT story grew from. Similarly, if we see what STPI did for Bangalore with the Bangalore Tech Center in Whitefield, that's where IT grew out of. So at Kionics, we see ourselves having a big role in how we take IT beyond Bangalore. Karnataka's economy today is about 33 lakh crore GSDP. And as a state, we are very confident that we want to hit a 1 trillion crore, the 1 trillion economy market at the earliest. So the growth over there of the 33 lakh crore, a major chunk of it is coming from the IT sector. So in order to move this, and in order to make sure that the IT sector grows and that Karnataka's story is not just Bangalore, we are undertaking several beyond Bangalore initiatives. As Mangula Madam already mentioned, Mysore is going to be our center where we are planning to develop the ESDM cluster. 160 acres has been reserved by the government, and we are planning to develop the ESDM cluster in Mysore in a very big way. Mangalore has been chosen to be our fintech cluster, where we are trying to bring in financial technology centers over there and develop Mangalore as a fintech center. Hubli, Belagavi, Dharwad is already our auto sector. We are planning to do automotive innovation, drone technology, battery technology. And Kalburgi as a cluster is going to serve as our region where we're going to be doing innovation in terms of agri-tech. So all these centers, if they're going to come up, Bangalore was very lucky in that it had world-class infrastructure and the best-in-class education systems coming together to create an ecosystem where innovation could flourish. So at Kionics, we want to take this to every cluster which is beyond Bangalore, to Mysore, Mangalore, Hubli, Belagavi, Kalburgi. So we want to make sure that parity in the development of Karnataka happens, and we want to make sure that Delhi, which is one of the centers where we're going to find the highest number of HNIs, highest number of family businesses, family offices present over here, which can invest. And as you all know, Karnataka has the highest number of startups present throughout the country. 40% of the startups of the country are present in Bangalore, but this story is being taken beyond Bangalore. The LEAP program, or the Local Economy Accelerator program, is taking innovation beyond Bangalore to our cluster, Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. So this story is something which we want to concentrate on during the Bangalore Tech Summit, where we take the technology beyond Bangalore and concentrate on AI and what comes beyond AI. One thing which we have done and one thing which we're really proud about is that every step, every time Bangalore Tech Summit has grown in scale, it's been under the august leadership of Shri Priyank Kharge. Bangalore Tech Summit started off in Ashoka Hotel in a very modest way. When we grew out of Ashoka Hotel into Bangalore Palace, it was under the leadership of Shri Priyank Kharge. And then subsequently, when we've grown from Bangalore Palace to the BIEC, it has once again been under Shri Priyank Kharge's leadership. And we're absolutely confident that last time, when we'd got close to 10,000 innovators, 10,000 startups under one roof, this year, the program which we are going to do is definitely going to outdo that in scale and in proportions and in impact. And we welcome all of you to come and be a part of this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shri Sharat Kumar Bachegowda, for giving us more insights and why Karnataka and Bengaluru is the right destination. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving on to the most important aspect of today's morning's deliberations, what we are all waiting for, the open dialogue, which is going to happen in the next few seconds once we set the stage. So all in all, it's an open dialogue. You are free to share the views. It will be done. And once the dignitaries come over to the dais, it will be taken over. And then the industry leaders from IT, Deep Tech, ESDM, Life Sciences, and the investor association partners, all of you are here. So it's a great opportunity, probably one of its kind with regards to the open dialogue. As already indicated, Bengaluru Tech Summit 2026 with a new perspective of innovation, growth and development for all. It's my pleasure now to invite the Hon'ble Minister of Electronics, IT, BT, Panchayat Raj and Rural Development, Shri Priyank Kharge onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and let's welcome Shri Priyank Kharge. I would also like to call upon Shri Sharat Kumar Bachegowda, Dr. Mangula, the Secretary Department of Electronics, IT, BT, and SNT, Government of Karnataka. Of course, we also have Ms. Dyani Ghosh on the stage, please. We also have Shri Arvind Kumar. I would now like to call back Shri Jagdish Patankar to take us through this all-important dialogue. Over to you, Jagdish.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you. So, this is the main program, of course, of the day, but in Samudra Manthan, Amrit comes at the end. So, that is the important part of this entire program. We are looking forward to that. I'm not going to waste too much time, but straight away go to NASSCOM and request Bhaskar to share his quick comment, and then request maybe a couple of other guests from NASSCOM to share their thoughts or ask queries. One small thing I missed out during Future Makers Conclave, which I must make a mention of. Last year we tried something very ambitious under the vision of Honorable Minister. 16 VCs and family offices invested in 26 deep tech startups on the platform, and we announced investment of more than 300 crores when the round was of about 700 crores. This was attempted for the first time. Yes, total 736 was round, and Government of Karnataka committed another 600 crores in the deep tech. So the total investment commitment on one platform was 1,000 crore plus. This happened for the first time in the country. Over to you, Bhaskar.
No, thanks, JP. And I really loved it, the way you said Samudra Manthan. Fantastic. And we all have seen, Minister, you are always on top of the number, 736. First of all, thanks for giving me this opportunity. Very good afternoon to all of you. Few things which I echo, Arvindji, you spoke about. Energy of Honorable Minister is amazing. We all echo that whenever we meet him. Sir, you always talk about Bengaluru not only as center or a capital of Karnataka, but as Bengaluru to the world. And this is what, when we go to different states, everyone inspire to do what Karnataka is doing. So big thanks for you on all this. Sir, we met 2 weeks back, and it was one-on-one conversation with you. Your vision on deep tech and IP, that is so amazing. We had a 20 minutes conversation, and you, as a visionary, when you spoke about what we should do, and I must acknowledge, especially on IP, Honorable Minister, I had a conversation around 3 years back, Dyani, if you can remember, and the person who inspired me to take this lead on IP is Dyani Ghosh. A big round of applause for Dyani. And that resulted into signing a MOU with Government of Karnataka. Yes, sir, we are working on that. I had a discussion with Mangula ma'am on that, how we can take the lead. Sir, I just want to double click on a couple of things, which is more from the industry feedback. The number of policies, many of the states, they also announce. But whether it's a GCC policy, IT policy, Nipuna program, especially on the skilling, it's such a visionary policy. Everyone is appreciating towards the Nipuna program. Elevate and the Leap, more related to deep tech and the IP innovation. That's what we are working towards. And I think we are collaborating in BTS from last 10 years, and we are very excited to collaborate for the next year. So thank you for this opportunity. And last but not the least, before I hand it over to the industry leaders, sir, there are multiple events happens in multiple states, but they all envy towards BTS, and they want to become a BTS one day. So thank you very much for creating this global platform. With that, I will hand it over to Satyajit to share his thoughts.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Priyank Kharge. My name is Satyajit. I represent a company called EXL. I think, first of all, must appreciate Karnataka's leadership in building India's premier tech summit. And thanks to BTS, we get to see you and meet you also, Minister, and hear about, I think, the great things which are happening. Just wanted to, I think, in addition to appreciating, also appreciate the fact that of the theme moving from AI to beyond. I think there's a lot of focus purely on AI, I think, which I think is probably, I wouldn't say misplaced, but probably sometimes, people just hone in on that. So I think that's definitely something we appreciate. And I think the other thing we also appreciate is, I think, the focus on IP. I think for far too long, Indian industry has been, Indian and global industry has been collaborating, but I think the focus on IP has been missing. So appreciate that as well. Just finally, I know we'll get to hear from you at the end, but wanted to also hear your thoughts on how the state is planning to evolve. I think Karnataka is a fantastic talent hub, but how it's moving, and I'm sure that's happening, to a center for high value AI and IP innovation. So would love to hear from you, sir, at the end. Thank you.
Your question was with respect to the talent pool and how we'll go ahead, right?
Yes, sir. I think how we are moving from, obviously it's been a great talent pool, but now we are moving into a, from just being a talent pool to creating a center for AI and IP innovation.
Thank you. Firstly, a warm welcome to all of you, and we really appreciate your time and extremely grateful for making it here. So coming to the question that you've asked, I think the government of Karnataka realized that if we intend to remain global leaders, we need to ensure our human resource have a completely upheaval of skill sets. So we formed a committee along with the skill minister for emerging technologies, where we interacted across sectors with over 280, 300 companies. So whether it was aerospace, whether it was data center, whether it was cybersecurity, biotechnology, pharma, across sectors, and we asked them what is the kind of disruption that they were expecting. And once they gave us some feedback, we came up with a program called Nipuna. Nipuna translates to highly, it means highly skilled professionals. So in the Nipuna program, we bear 40 to 50% of the cost depending on the program, and the private company or the corporate bears the other 50%. The curriculum is set by the industry. The partner is identified by the industry, and we help them train together. So jointly, we are trying to create a talent pool that will not only work for Karnataka and Bengaluru, but also across the nation and across the globe. The depth of talent in Bengaluru is so high that a person trained here can work in Boston, can work in Brisbane, can work in Britain, anywhere. In fact, just yesterday we met, I had a board member of Siemens coming in, and she was telling me that not a single line of, not a single product or a single software that goes out into global market goes without a code written by a Kannadiga or a Bengalurian. So that is the scale of depth we have, and that's what we are doing. So I urge all the industry leaders here, business captains here, to partner with us. We are here for you. We are willing to unlearn and relearn with you. And the idea is to ensure that we have the most agile and the most talented human resource in the world to build sustainable solutions. I think that is something that we are good at, and we'll continue doing that.
Thank you.
If I may request, Sudhir.
Thank you, NASCOM. I'm Sudhir Agrawal. I'm CHRO and Director Digital Transformation with Orbit Texol. Sir, just to share with you, at the age of 62, after 4 decades of experience, I chose to become CHRO, move from business to CHRO. So my one small comment and a question for you. My comment is, I think AI evolution has happened so fast, there's a lot of noise and confusion and nervousness that people are creating. You know, some of the global people are saying coding will get over and all that. So I think it has to be moderated. The question for you is, sir, when would you like to call Karnataka.gov as Karnataka.ai? In the sense, you have who's who of the industry, not today, from the beginning. You have whether academia or industry. I think yesterday also we were in the NASCOM forum, we were talking. AI stayed by design. If we start putting our thoughts on that, and we have again who's who on the dais, who can make it. So my point is that, you know, more by design rather than as it keep happening.
I completely agree with you that past a couple of years, AI, the word AI is being very loosely used, and it continues to do so. Everything seems to be AI enabled. In fact, when Ms. Ghosh was speaking, she did mention way back, 10, 12 years back when we had met, we spoke about AI. In fact, in 2000, machine learning and AI. And I wanted a center of excellence in AI in 2017. But I was a junior minister then, it got shot down. But in 2018, we got the Art Park, the Artificial Intelligence and Robotic Tech Park. And then now, as we speak, I have a center of excellence in AI in Bengaluru. I have one in IIIT Raichur. I have one in IIIT Dharwad. And just yesterday, I got one more in AI for biotechnology. So now I have 5. But also, we are, as a government, we are seeing how to use AI responsibly for governance. So like you rightly pointed out, we are getting a lot of solutions from people saying that this will help governance better, this will help processes better within government, it will help you identify your fake Aadhaar cards, fake data cards, and everything else. And people also want to build solutions on the data sets that are available with us. Our health data sets, our data sets that are available with the metro, with the transport department. So we are trying to evaluate how much of public data that the government owns or has can be given out to build solutions. So we are working on that. So we have put up a committee for responsible AI, number one. Number two, like you said, when will you see a Karnataka Gov.ai? I don't think you'll see that anytime soon, because we don't intend to do governance through AI. E-governance is something that we started very early in Karnataka. That time it was necessary. Electronic governments, we've got digital, we have digitized probably everything in Karnataka. We have probably the largest data sets available for any state, and all our citizen services, over 800 citizen services, are given at village level through this thing. So now what we need to do, I think personally we are done with e-governance. What we need now is I-governance, intelligent governance. So how do I use those data sets? How do I use the entire framework that I have with AI? So if I allow AI, I'm still not, to be very honest, although I'm one of the biggest advocates of technology, like I should be, but I think AI governance is still not ready for AI, or governments are not ready for AI. I think ultimately the decision should be taken by the government, by an individual, because the sense of empathy and the sense of logical reasoning can only be given by us for now. I don't know how things will pan out in a decade, but yes, the government is working towards I-governance, intelligent governance, rather than gov.ai.
Thank you.
So thank you, Minister, for giving this opportunity, and many congratulations for upcoming Bangalore Tech Summit. We are excited to be part of it. Back to you, JP.
Thank you. Thank you. And now I will straightaway shift the focus to IVCA. Amit is here, Mr. Amit Pandey. Would you like to share your thoughts? As you know, he is the lead of VC ecosystem under IVCA. So.
Thank you very much, Jagdishji, and very, very thank you to Honorable Minister and the dignitaries on the dais for giving this opportunity to IVCA. We have been proud partners to the Bangalore Deep Tech Summit over the years, and whatever requests we've given in the past have been championed by the government. So I just want to share that over the last year we've got close to 1.65 billion funding in India's deep tech, which is compared to US and China, very meager, but which obviously gives us the opportunity. US is at 150 billion, China at 80 billion, but we have a lot of signals now coming in India through the RDIF, which we've already talked about. SIDBI FFS 2.0 has come, so another additional 10,000 crores is coming. So there's money, there's signal, there's policy, there's everything is happening. So at IVC, a lot of deep tech investors were approaching us. So we formalized a deep tech SIG, sir, where we have onboarded all the leading deep tech investors in the country as a part of that SIG. And some of them will be very actively working with IVCA in getting all the relevant stakeholders in the roof. So under the same roof. So we are also planning a similar Bharat Deep Tech Summit in Bangalore only, obviously, it goes without saying. Last year also, thanks to you, you were a part of the IVCA Circles event in Bangalore where you gave your keynote address. And all of those things have inspired us to now curate this Bharat Deep Tech Summit, which will be held in October in Bengaluru. We would need your blessings and support, sir. And we are also planning some very high signal, low noise, small curated working group meetings and roundtables with the academia, corporates, GCCs, along with our investors and some founders. So it will be great to have your blessings, support, and we will obviously be reaching out with more details and would love to sit with you separately and need your support and guidance, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I think I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the entire VC community as well. I think what we did in Future Makers was phenomenal. Just for the benefit of all of them sitting here, I made an announcement saying that the next decade for Karnataka is going to be a deep tech decade. And the Government of Karnataka is going to invest 1 crore, give 1 crore grant to deep tech startups for anybody who is disrupting their sector or vertical. And I pledged 600 crores. And I reached out to the VC communities and said that, look, I'm pledging 600 crores, why don't you do the same? And trust me, they were so forthcoming. They said, definitely we will try to do our best. And they said probably 150 crores or 200 crores. But on November 19th, the day the Future Makers event happened, it just went above the roof and 350 crores. We distributed 700 crores on a stage like this. And I think that is something that no state government can champion. And I think that is all because of the relationship the governments share with the private sector in Karnataka. Our policies, our schemes, our initiatives, everything is done after due diligence and consultancy from the industry. So I'd like to thank IVCA as well and the entire VC fraternity for helping us out. And we'd like to see November mein baat hui thi ke co-invest karenge. So I think that is something I told we'll let the budget get over and we'll figure a way out. So now would be a great time to start this off. And so hopefully by November, we will, by the time we have Future Makers, we'll be able to actually show some investments in deep tech. But thank you so much.
So nice of you, sir. And just like Arjuna came to Krishna for all the support, so we will also like to come to you. IVC would like to come to the Karnataka government. Obviously, you know, we've seen the numbers throughout the day.
I like this. Manthan bhi ho raha hai, Krishna bhi ban raha hu. It's all the government's money. It's not my money. I'm here. I'm the charioteer. That's it. So you just tell me which direction you want me to go in. I'll take you in that direction.
We'll catch hold of you. Thank you so much, sir.
Taking the direction that is the charioteer does, right? So,
yeah. I would like to invite Ashish Taneja, sir, from GrowX Ventures. They've been one of the leading deep tech investors in the country and starting probably from the time when deep tech was not as such termed as a coin. So over to you, Ashish, for sharing.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll make it quick. My name is Ashish. I run GrowX Ventures and been investing in deep technology for over a decade now. But more than what we've done in the past, I'm deeply excited about the next 10 years, 20 years. You know, I think India is at a cusp, and it's so glad to see the work going behind the scenes and in front of the scenes by various governments, state and central, to make sure that we're ahead. Yeah, I was super delighted to see a couple of our portfolio companies in one of the slides. We were the first investor in Pixel. We're an early investor in Bellatrix. We've done defense tech. We've done genomics.
I think before you invested, they won the Karnataka grant.
We were the first check. Bellatrix, yes.
Yes,
you're right. Bellatrix does. Pixel, you know.
See, you got equity. I didn't get anything.
No, that's okay. But I think what you got is far bigger than what we've got. We got some equity. You got the pride to saying they're housed in Bangalore, and you know, I think that's the biggest joy, isn't it? Right?
Absolutely.
And you know, more than the capital allocation, you know, what we started seeing, and you know, that for me is fundamental for any deep tech economy. We started seeing demand coming from various pockets of government, right? Be it for space, be it for defense, be it for semiconductors. And you know, you spoke about giving grants to startups, and I think along with grants, if there are some method to get some pilots or proof of concepts and some ideas on the table for these people to kind of get started, that will just shape up the future for some of these young companies far better than just only capital.
Absolutely. We have something in our public procurement policy already. But I get your point. It's not enough. So in fact, Dr. Mangula and Mr. Rahul are working out on an initiative called Government First, where we will be allowing companies and startups to build for government. So if you want a proof of concept to a trial, or if you want to, you're solving a problem, that is plaguing the government, we'll be more than happy to allow that proof of concept. And if the proof of concept is good enough, we also invest. And if that is scalable, we also adopt it within the government. So we are working that out. While we already have a couple of policies in place, but to go on scale, that is something that we are going to do, and we'll ensure that it is done in the next couple of months.
Looking forward to that, and I'm part of the SIG Amit mentioned, and we'll come out with some ideas in terms of how one can collaborate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And as you all know, the startup story started in Karnataka, unicorn story started in Karnataka, and the first, thing of that unicorn story was, of course, InMobi. And we have with us Dr. Subi Chaturvedi, who would like to share her quick thoughts and maybe a few suggestions. Mike will come to you.
Thank you so much, JP, for being a wonderful curator and an anchor. Minister Kharge, it's always an honor to be in your presence. You make governments and ministers look better. You make them look good. And you define what the interaction between the private sector and government should look like. We're InMobi, and of course, we're India's first unicorn. We made Bengaluru our home. That's our karma bhumi. We take great pride now. We're a second unicorn. Glance AI is the world's largest consumer tech AI platform. And so we did it from Bengaluru because I was only there yesterday. On an electric pole, I saw a poster saying, learn prompt engineering. Learn how to build chatbots. Where the world makes a lot of noise, in Bengaluru, technology arrives quietly. It's embraced and it ends up on poles, because if you do a simple search, you'll see 1 million plus developers, GitHub's largest repositories and feeds, where very serious work is happening. It's not just bottom line engineering, and that's the ecosystem that you and the entire ITBT team made that possible for us to call it Bengaluru our home. And that's why, sir, BTS, we've been now associated with it very, very closely for the last 5 editions. It's not just an event. It's not Asia's largest exhibition. It's where policy, priorities, governments, global businesses collaborate, they co-create, and they build together. And that's why in the run-up, sir, we've done Manthan, Yurar Krishna. We've been doing a lot of Chintan. And that's the dialogue that we wanted to bring to you, because it's happening in very real geopolitical scenarios. And Dyani articulated that beautifully. This is where, sir, a lot of global capital and funding is going away. InMobi clawed its way to the top. We did it in 2011 before systematic structures were there to enable things. When we look at a PIF, when we look at global governments, there are sovereign wealth funds that exist. And there are now companies that are cornering global capital. So couple of asks, sir, because we've discussed regulatory sandboxes, centers of excellence, but we need to say 1,000 flowers need to bloom. So very specific sectoral work, and what would policy priorities, especially to look at marrying everything that Dyani just articulated for the tech stack, which would include not just being on the table, not just having a seat at the table, but owning the table, being in the right room, building our own table. And that's where, sir, regulations, because it's not just best intentions. Sometimes the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Building capacity for policymakers. So a lot of that, because disruptive companies like ours, sir, where law will always play catch up to policy. And that's where not any other state, like Arvindji articulated so beautifully, and Kiran is a living example of that. These are inspirations to us, and we learn from them. We stand on their shoulders. Only Karnataka can do that for us. We'd love to hear more from you. Thank you so much.
Well, I think what Ms. Dyani and Dr. Kiran spoke about is extremely important in the current scenario, because everybody is looking at bringing in new innovations across sectors, across verticals. And in India, what happens is any innovation cannot just be for a few hundred people or a few thousand people. It has to go on scale, like millions and billions. And it's very important for us to have the right framework of policies for these innovations. And like you rightly pointed out, policies always play catch up to technology. I mean, nowhere in the world, any country has a tailor-made, ready-made solution or a policy for innovations that are disruptive in nature. And that's the same thing here in India. But what we did in 2018 itself was we created a Karnataka Innovation Authority in my previous tenure, where if we do not have a policy for an innovation, it can come and rest in that regulatory sandbox for a fee and work in a very regulated manner without breaking any law. But somehow that wasn't enough. And now we are getting a version 2.0. I guess, Doctor, that's already, the amendment is done. Yeah, so probably in a month's time, we'll be getting the cabinet approval for that. So we will have one of the best innovation authorities or a regulatory sandbox for innovations and inventions to thrive. And more importantly, we'll be giving heavy focus on health sciences and life sciences in that. So I think it's just a matter of another 30-40 days. We should be having India's first regulatory sandbox for innovations and inventions that is going to be disruptive. And the idea is it's just not for our own startups, but also startups that are coming from across the globe. So we just don't want to be hung up on innovations only that are born and bred here in India or from our state. We are ready to adopt innovations from across the world, but we, like you rightly pointed out, it should be in a right framework, it should be legal, and there should be a red carpet, not a red tape. So we'll figure that out soon. Thank you.
Thank you. And continuing the story of Unicorn, I would like to request, I'm doing a little bit of shift, Nitin Jain, co-founder of Off Business. I think he's here. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation about Bengaluru and Karnataka. So, just want to tell you that we employ close to about 30,000 people across India, including blue collar and white collar people. And I have recently also started a company in the electronics domain where we are providing intelligence to the company to reduce their import bill of material using AI and agentic AI. I still feel that the use of AI in the companies is very, very limited. And I think it can be greatly enhanced because people still don't understand the power of AI. I think to them, AI is still using a little bit of ChatGPT or Claude, etc., but they're not really enhancing the power where people or AI is doing the work that you employ 100 people to do, and that will enhance the productivity because you can deploy those people in other areas. So, you know, given an opportunity, I'm a computer science engineer from IIT Delhi as well, so I've deeply studied AI and I've deeply implemented AI in whatever we are doing at the moment in terms of building AI agents for procurement and reducing the import bill for electronic companies. So I would love to come and present something to the Karnataka government on AI that will be very, very relevant because I am deploying it with companies, large OEMs and brands, which I can't name on this forum, but I'm working with them, and multi-billion-dollar companies are using those AI agents. So would love to discuss if there's an opportunity, and thank you so much for giving your insights, and we would love to keep contributing to the Government of Karnataka and Government of India. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll be soon calling for ideas. Like I said, please have a seat. Like I said, e-governance I think is dead. Now I think we need to move to I-governance, and if we need to move to I-governance, we need to know what's available in the market. Sometimes we just don't know, we are blindsided. So we will be calling out to companies and startups that are using AI, especially with respect to processes. So probably that's we can definitely have a conversation and see what solutions you have, so that if it's going to help, let's see if we can get a POC on that.
With this, we'll move to now IESA and embedded world, and that is where I would like to request Shipra Bhalla Chaudhary, Senior Director of SAP India. I received a request from her. She's here. Okay. She's not here. Maybe I can request Alok Kesri, Director, Policy Affairs and Trade Facilitation, Federation of European Business in India, FEBI.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister. Thank you very much for the insights that you have shared with us. We represent the European businesses in India, and as well as those companies which are looking towards India. At present, there are almost around 6,000 EU businesses in India, and Karnataka is one of the top 5 states which are attracting the investments of the EU businesses. And many more businesses are also looking towards now India for their investments, future investments. One area which has come out is that in terms of AI and semiconductor, they would like to further strengthen the collaborations, particularly with the Government of Karnataka also. And this is how I would request you for your thoughts on this, that okay, how these companies from the EU businesses could kind of look to strengthen their partnership with Government of Karnataka, and how Government of Karnataka could support them, especially in terms of regulatory ease as well as a competitive advantage that Karnataka offers to these companies.
Sure. I mean, I think you saw Dr. Mangula's presentation. Please have a seat. We run something called the Global Innovation Alliance, where we have over 40 countries as our partners. And today evening, we are having a dialogue with diplomats, a Bridge to Bengaluru conversation as well, where we have over 80 countries coming in today, out of which around close to around 48 of them are ambassadors, and the others are all Sharat affairs and the High Commissioners and Deputy High Commissioners. So if you're a trade body or if you're a business council, you can tie up directly with the department. All you need to do is let us know what sector you would like us to do. And just like how we do it with the UK FTI, or we do it with US IBC, AmCham. So we have these MOUs with a lot of trade bodies and industry bodies. That's one. The other thing is, if the government itself wants to tie up, any of the European government, we can have a G2G, like how we have corridors with Dusseldorf, we have corridors with San Francisco, we have corridors with the Silicon Valley. So we have various mechanisms to ensure that we create these sort of, what can I say, a collaborative mechanism, so that we ensure there is mutual growth and we can learn from each other. So if your interest is semiconductor, whether your interest is in semiconductor design, we can definitely have a conversation. Nothing stops us from signing up and ensuring that we will be your guide to any investment in Karnataka. We have a special help desk, in fact, for GCCs. In fact, also we have India's first global capability center policy as well, and also a catalyst, which is an accelerator for GCCs, whether it is semiconductor, whether it's life sciences, whether it's biotech. So I think that the easiest thing to do is reach out, and we'll ensure we take care of everything.
Sure. Thank you. We'll reach out to you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would like to take this opportunity to maybe invite FEBI to be part of the BTS ecosystem. Like we have USIBC, we have AmCham. FEBI could be a great collaboration where we can work very closely with you to facilitate their participation, their dialogue.
We would be happy to do that.
Yeah. Thank you. And I would move on to the last question, which I had received earlier, last request. After that, if time permits, if it's possible, maybe a couple of more questions we can take. But I would like to request Arvind Chandrasekhar, Senior Director, AMD, to ask his question. He's here? No, mic is coming.
Sir, first of all, thank you so much for having us here today. In 2023, when AMD made its landmark $400 million investment in India, Karnataka was the anchor. And I think as 3 years have gone by, AMD's world's second largest design center in the world is actually located in Bangalore now. And it's a complete jewel in the crown for us. And when we look at what Karnataka gives us, it's not just about the location, it's about a larger strategy for AMD globally. And this is our global innovation footprint. And we always say that there is a little bit of India in everything that AMD does. And in that India, I would say that Karnataka plays a very big part of what AMD is doing globally. So what sets Karnataka apart for us is the combination of world-class talent, progressive policy making. There is also a very strong industry and government collaboration, and all of these are essential for us to build our ecosystem. And as we continue to scale in India, we see Karnataka as our partner in our growth, and we're seeing how we can co-create things. Of all the things that you said, one thing that resonated with me and something that I will probably have a chat with my team sitting here later is, I feel very left out as someone looking at the corporate strategy for AMD in India, is I feel very left out that we did not get a piece of the 700 crores that went out. So I'm going to try and figure out how we can do something to get back into the game over here. But we'd really love to see if there are any co-investment opportunities that can come up like this.
I mean, to everyone out here, I mean, thank you for bringing this up. The government of Karnataka is extremely open. All you need to do is reach out. We have tied up with Intel earlier for skilling. We are tied up with them for incubators. So I run over close to around 20 centers of excellence. So right from agriculture to aerospace. If we don't have one which suits you, you tell us, we'll build one. We are interested in helping you skill. We are interested in helping you mentor our startups. So it's just not about money, it's not about funding. The government of Karnataka has funded over 1,300 startups till date. 1,300 startups. No VC in the world, no government in the world has done this much. And we look for collaborations, because we are not the experts. You are the experts. You understand the trends better than us, sooner than us. And even today, when we all are here in full strength, we are not come here for investments. We are come here to ask you to collaborate with us. We are asking you to build the next with us. So very gladly, we'll be happy to partner with AMD with respect to startups, with respect to accelerators, with respect to incubators, with respect to skilling, with respect to hardware, anything that you would want. By the way, I've been to your office in US. They have a great gaming PC, by the way. So in fact, we are going to have one of the biggest e-gaming summits also. AMD should actually lead that, if you ask me. So we are open, sir. And like you said, you have your team here. I have my team here too. You have the entire department sitting here, most of us. So whatever you would like to partner with us for, we'd be more than happy to do so.
Thank you. Maybe we have maybe little time or not, I'm not sure. But any one or two questions anybody wants to ask, maybe from media or industry, just raise your hand and yeah, you would like to? Yeah. Please introduce yourself and try to keep it as crisp as you can. Please stand up, introduce yourself and ask your question.
Hello,
yeah, you start talking.
Hello. Yeah, hi. My name is Saurabh Saxena. I'm from Delhi Technology Club, and I have more than 15 years of experience in defense, AI, game development, XR, and robotics. So my question is related to AI agents. One of our experts said that about something about AI agents. So now everyone is building AI agents, right? So is government also planning for building AI agents and in non-tech work, like for policy building and policy prediction? And my second question is, how are we making it secure? Because AI agents are running on operating systems. So we have to make it very secure, otherwise we'll lose all our data and intelligence.
So I'm also the Minister for Panchayat Raj and Rural Development, which is huge. Almost like 80% of Karnataka comes under the Panchayat Raj. So we cater to every village in Karnataka, and we are experimenting with AI chatbots, AI agents in Panchayat Raj for grievance redressal right now. It is so if you are sitting here in Delhi and you want to know the proceedings of your Panchayat, you can actually get it. Or if you want to know how the budget was utilized, you can get it. If you have any other grievances that the Panchayat development officer needs to solve, you can use it. And we are using a little bit of AI that. Besides that, in e-governance also, we are using a lot of AI, especially with respect to disaster management. So there are, usually what happens is when crop losses are reported, a lot of it is photo edited. So we are trying to figure out which are the, before we would spend a lot of time trying to figure out which is the genuine photograph. And that would take months. But now with using AI, we can make out whether the photo is manipulated or not. Then we are also using AI for livestock census. So the muscle prints on the nose of the livestock is apparently different for each one of them. So we are trying to use that for census. And also in processes and in governance, we have already, like I said, we have set up a committee to figure out how much of private information or public information can be given out to build solutions. So we are doing it in a small way, and a couple of them have been successful. And currently we are running, you spoke about security, currently they're all running with our state data centers itself. So we own data centers in Karnataka and they're running on that. So that is covered. But when we go on scale, point taken, sovereignty and protection is, security will be something that we'll need to prepare a blueprint for. Thank you.
Thank you. And you would like to ask a question, right? Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is J.K. Bhatti. I was with the rights, a public under the Ministry of Railways for 35 years. The most of the issues has already been covered by Mangula in his presentation. But I will ask two questions to Honorable Minister. I think this question, two questions has not been asked since morning. My first question is, how can Karnataka stay globally competitive as countries invest heavily in next generation AI technologies? And second question is, are there any...
I'm sorry, I didn't get your last bit.
Okay, I will repeat my question. How can Karnataka stay globally competitive as countries invest heavily in next generation AI technologies? And second question is, are there any plans to build large-scale AI infrastructures such as compute clusters or data ecosystem? Thank you.
So answering your first question, I think Government of Karnataka is pretty well equipped. Today, if we are the fourth largest technology cluster, it speaks volumes by itself. And earlier, Arvind Kumarji also in his speech, he said that Bengaluru has moved from being a services industry, now we have moved to being an innovation industry, IP industry. And currently, we are number 8 as per certain rankings in the startup ecosystem. And we are number 5 in the top AI cities in the world, and number 2 in the AI talent in the world. And number 3 in AI talent in the world. We are number 2 in research publications of AI. And what we are doing is to stay globally competitive, we are collaborating heavily. The Global Innovation Alliance, which we run through our department, we are collaborating with incubators across countries. So example, this year is the India-France Innovation Year. And guess who the French chose to collaborate with Bengaluru. So we are collaborating with Australia, we are collaborating with Silicon Valley, we are collaborating with Boston, we are collaborating with Stanford University in biotech. So sector-specific, industry-specific collaboration. In fact, a lot of countries ask us to have a skill corridor with them. That also we are doing. So to remain globally competitive, like I said earlier, we are ready to learn from other ecosystems. We are ready to unlearn what we have learned, to relearn so that we can deliver on scale. Today, the reason why we have 950 plus global capability centers in Bengaluru is because of our talent depth. And they are innovating just not for their companies, they're innovating for the world from Bengaluru. So that itself is a testimony of how globally competitive we are. And government to government also, we are having a lot of tie-ups with Middle East countries. In fact, we look to developed countries for their technologies, and African countries look to us to give our innovations which they can use, like our UPI or our Aadhaar systems and all that. So we are hand-holding both sides of the world to that, which makes it extremely relevant and competitive, number one. Number two, the infrastructure that we are trying to build or going to build for AI and emerging technologies is again sector-based. If you saw the presentation, we are the first state who have come up with a GCC policy. We are the first state who have also come up with a quantum roadmap and responsible AI and AI policy as well. So we have already identified land, we have identified startups, we have identified partners, we have identified corporates with whom we can partner for in emerging technologies. So whether it is, and also we are rethinking our strategy, because we have a data center policy, but we want to have a sustainable data center policy now because of the environment impact that AI and emerging technologies and quantum is bringing in, computing is bringing in. In fact, to ensure that we don't leave behind students with computing, I don't think Mr. Sharat spoke about KIO in his speech. So we are the only state who's taking computing to the grassroots. We have India's, I don't think India's, it's world's most affordable artificial intelligence PC, which we launched in November 17th. And it's being deployed probably in another month, another couple of weeks' time now. So those AI PCs are not going to colleges or schools in Bengaluru. They are going to tier 2 towns. So while we are building infrastructure like a quantum city for Bengaluru, we are ensuring computing also reaches grassroots through hardware, like how we have designed KIO through KIONX. So yes, we are at it, but yes, it's an uphill task. We understand that. But Karnataka has always been known to be ambitious, and Karnataka is always known to ensure that we fulfill what the country desires.
Thank you. I don't see any raised hands. Of course, okay, there is one. Yeah, here behind you.
Hello. Yeah. So, Honorable Minister, I have a question wherein
Excuse me, can you please just introduce yourself and then...
Sorry, I'm so sorry. So, I am Poonam and I had marketing for Subex, which is an AI-first B2B solution provider to telcos. We do fraud management, business assurance kind of solutions. It's a 30-year-old organization.
I know Subex. We built your RNR system 15 years back. I think it's called STARS.
Yeah. Good to know that, sir.
So 10 years back, if you were getting rewarded, it was because of what we had built.
Very nice. I just joined in 8 months back. Yeah. So my question to you is, you know, we have here in this forum, we talked about right kind of policies in place. And I'm saying at an overall level of India, not just beyond Karnataka, I'm saying. We do have the talent, right kind of talent. But still, what is that stops India in coming up with the, you know, with sovereign AI or developing our own IPs as far as AI is concerned? Where do you think are we getting stuck? If you think this space has to be increased or enhanced, what is that is the biggest roadblock is what I'm just curious to know.
Are you impressed with what Karnataka does?
Yeah, totally.
If you want it to be done and scale at India level, ensure that I come into Delhi.
Nice.
That's the only way I can do it. Till then I can do it only for Karnataka.
Wow.
But nothing stops us, to be honest, nothing stops us. We need to ensure that there has to be more collaborative efforts in the federal structure, within the central government and the state government. There is, it's not that, I'm not saying it isn't, but I think a little more learnings, because see, states are more agile. Whether it is Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana, we are more agile than the central government. And I think if the collaborations happen better because the ecosystems are here. So it can be done. It's not that it is not done. So whether it's your startup policy, I was listening to one of the speakers say Startup India. Startup India started after Startup Karnataka. Data center policy came after Karnataka. IT policy came after Karnataka's. BT policy came after Karnataka's. EV policy came after Karnataka's. Cyber security policy also came after Karnataka's. So they should, सुनने के लिए तैयार है तो हम बताने के लिए तैयार हैं.
Right, right. We need more of influence on other states. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. With this, I think, can we take this offline? Because Honorable Minister also has other engagements, as you can appreciate. But once again, thank you so much for such a wonderful interaction.
If I may, JP, one second. I'm sorry, I was supposed to speak after this, but looking at your faces, I think I should not be doing that. And in the best interest and safety of me and my team. And but really, we appreciate your time. We are extremely grateful that you came here, and we are looking forward to welcoming you in Bengaluru Tech Summit. It's just not any other event or just a brainstorming session. It is an event where things get implemented. So half of the policies that we spoke about here were all discussed there. So it is a place where ideas come to life. So I would really look forward to seeing all of you in Bengaluru. If not for anything, just come there for the weather. If not for anything. So I think that is something, once you come there for the weather, I'm sure, because I see Arvindji never says no when it's Bangalore. Because otherwise he's to be here in Delhi. So weather-wise or otherwise, Bengaluru is great to be in. So looking forward to welcoming all of you to the Bengaluru Tech Summit. And on behalf of the department and personally, I thank you for your time and your presence here. Thank you so much. And your patience. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Weather-wise and otherwise, absolutely. And maybe it's time for us to request Sanjeev, KDM Managing Director, to quickly give his words of thanks to the audience, because it's been a wonderful interaction. And we always like to conclude with Beyond Bengaluru, right?
Thank you. I think lunch is waiting ahead, but what a pleasure to have the industry champions here and with our own Honorable Minister, Shri Priyank Kharge with us. First of all, please give a hand applause for yourself being here, and as well as the entire government's delegation coming up from the Karnataka and Bangalore. Thank you, Rahulji, for the great, wonderful welcome address that you gave. And you talked about how infra is increasing in Bangalore, leading in the country as well. Thank you, Madam Dr. Mangula ji, for your ecosystem presentation of Karnataka. I feel very proud. Though I'm not Kannadiga by language, but for sure Kannadiga by heart. And that makes us who we are. So thank you for sharing these entire statistics for us in the part, and also emphasizing on the Beyond Bangalore. In fact, the video on the BTS, I hope you all loved it. We will play again while we're having lunch. We also talked about the Bangalore Tech Summit presentation. I think the future makers, Honorable Minister, talked about it. JP, thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. We have this Future Makers Conclave, which is a very important pillar. And I see a lot of VCs and a lot of industries, AMD, etc., want to participate in that. So we'll have this collaboration going on. Arvind ji, बहुत धन्यवाद आपका. You have always been day one, but also looking at the wider and deeper collaborations, because we see the STPI partnership going beyond Bangalore in the districts of Mysore and Mangalore, Hubli, Belgaum, Dharwad, and etc. So thank you for your partnership. Madam Dyani Ghosh has always been a very inspiring leader, and she has been talking about the forefront technologies and how India is getting prepared. We are well prepared for this. Karnataka is leading it, and I think she requested that how we can participate more. We will be looking at collaborating with Devjani ji's and the Niti Aayog initiatives. Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, the inspiring leader for all of us, has clearly talked about how the convergence can bring in between the government and industry. And the example is her own way of designing the vision groups on the biotech. Thank you so much, Kiran Shaji. We had the Sharat sir. You have taken the right words because he talked about of the beyond Bangalore. And I think that's where he discussed about entire infrastructure. So thank you so much for your explanation about the talent, about the availabilities, the plug-and-plays, and etc. Who can beat anyone else like the person that we have on the stage, our own Honorable Minister, Shri Priyank Kharge ji. Sir, your energy and your part of the leadership designs the entire future of the Karnataka. Everything that you talked about in the 4 decades of the history, the last 7, 8, 10 years has been a defining history for the Karnataka, and it is only under his leadership. So thank you so much for coming down here and also spending your valuable time with all of us. KDM is an organization set up under the leadership of the department, is to work with the industry and collaborate with the industry and bring this industry back to the government again. So happy to be here with you. We follow with the lunch, and thank you so much. We look forward to welcoming you in BTS. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Sanjeev Gupta. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please note that behind this hall, the lunch is arranged. So please have your lunch and head back to your respective destinations safely and securely. Thanks for being a part of today's session. All of you, take care. Namaskara.